ladies, ready?
Yes.
Everyone in the service industry has a story. Crazy customers, wild orders, and WTF moments. Do you want to start a tab? The podcast here to bring you those tales from behind the bar. My name's Carl. I've been bartending for 13 years now.
My name's Riley. I bartended for a very short time, but I enjoy watching people bartend.
Yes.
My name is Maggie, and I've been bartending just under 2 years.
And Maggie, where did we bartended together at the Hotel Julien for a little bit.
We sure did.
What else can you tell these people? Give us a 30-second elevator pitch.
About myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I love bartending. It's my creative outlet, and I have definitely been bitten by the bartending bug. And I don't know when that's going to go away.
It's never going to go away. It might not. Like,
That
even if you
is the
stop
truth.
bartending, but like in 10 years or 15 years, you're just like, your at-home drinks will still be good, you know?
That is true.
So that's you might get sick of just the world of bartending in the industry itself, but your drinks at home will always be good.
That's true.
And on this lovely little podcast, we like to, well, first of all, what do we do in this lovely little podcast? We read stories off the internet about the hospitality industry. We rate it 1 through 5, 1 being your average story, 5 being unique situation. And then we talk about it, discuss it. And then we say, is there an asshole? Is there a hero? And just have fun talking about that story.
And sometimes we are fortunate enough to have a guest. So today,
Yes.
Maggie takes over one of our stories.
Yep.
Yay.
And she'll be our second guest in a row. It's been a long time since we've had 2 guests in a row on.
Yeah.
Because we just celebrated episode 50.
Yes.
And you are going to be episode 51 and 52.
I know I'm that was Steve the bartender, correct?
Yep.
That's a tough act to follow.
I know.
So
I mean, we got to fucking keep going on this podcast. You can if we ended it there, that would be a great last podcast. So, but it's always fun. So, did you listen to that episode?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, it's
Not
a
yet.
longer one for sure, but his stories are pretty awesome.
But I will say, you guys were my top podcast on Spotify this year. Or no, either my number 1 or my number 2. The other one was Morbid.
What's
Well, that's
that?
fair.
It's a true crime podcast.
Okay,
True crime podcast. That's a hard one to say.
right on. All right, and so we like to drink on this podcast.
Yes.
And I asked you, or you asked, I don't remember, but you asked, do I have cachaça?
Yes.
And I said, yes, we do. We have 2 bottles. I thought we had 3, but it doesn't matter. And
It's probably around here somewhere.
it's somewhere, yeah. But so you came over and you wanted a
Caparina.
Yes, caparina. I know I'm saying that wrong.
If it wasn't Portuguese and if it was Spanish instead, I'd be able to pronounce it, but
Right.
I don't speak Portuguese.
Yep.
No.
So we're doing our own spin because I don't have lime wedges because we make super juice, and I'm not using simple. I'm using simple syrup instead of granulated salt, and I stirred it down.
Granulated sugar.
Yes, granulated sugar. Salt would be fucking crazy, right?
It might be kind of good. I don't know.
It might.
So real quick, Alexis, she was the manager at the restaurant I worked in Platteville for a little bit. She goes, there was one day I was making simple syrup, blah, blah, blah. We used it and cheesecake and a couple other things and some drinks. Then we found out that we used salt instead of sugar. And we had to throw away like 3 pans of cheesecake. And
bummer.
she goes, it was disgusting.
Oh, I
I could
bet.
only imagine.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How did they not notice?
Because they put the containers of salt and sugar in the same container.
Right.
And if you're not paying attention, they're both granulated pretty fine.
Right.
And the label was not labeled correctly. Or was all they saw was an S.
Oh. And they didn't taste it beforehand?
Nope.
Sorry to blame them for
No,
it.
it's
but,
fine. They don't
but, like,
care.
You know.
I mean, that's kind of cooking 101 where you
Yeah.
taste as you go.
Right.
Make sure it's right.
And bartending.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything. Taste the, never mind. We're not going to go there. All right. So, story number 1 is off our subreddit. Do you want to start a tab? So, if you'd like to leave us your own story, just click the link in the description of any podcast player, YouTube channel you're watching. Not any YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. And we'll go from there. What do we think of the drinks?
It's good.
We,
Is there a cat hair in yours, Riley?
no, it's something,
Oh,
but
well,
it tastes good.
Yeah.
there you go.
Cheers, ladies. I don't think we
Cheers.
did. Did we do that already? I don't
No.
remember.
It's good.
Yeah. If you're not familiar, this is the cocktail of Brazil, the national cocktail.
Yep.
Yep.
So I also read a story that Wisconsin is going to make the brandy old fashioned, the statewide cocktail. Like actually make it a thing.
Good for them. At least they can say they have that.
Right.
Right.
All right. So this first story is from Iceman25K, one of our favorite guests, or not guests, but listener.
Yes.
I was like, So he submitted 3 stories. He doesn't think these are worth reading, but what the fuck is the point of? Well, he said he just wanted like discussion on the subreddit, so we're going to still read them.
Yeah.
Story 1. Oh, he said him and his friends over December were talking about these stories, so it refreshed his memory about these. Story 1. My friend broke up with his girlfriend for the sum number I can't count high enough. Oh, okay. My friend broke up with his girlfriend for the sum number I can't count high enough. We're recently. Oh my god!
Please just hang on.
You read it.
All right. My friend broke up with his girlfriend for the sum number I can't count high enough time. Oh, so they were on again, off again,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just recently 21, so we go to a completely different university campus to drink at a shitty college bar. How shitty is this bar? Until I was a teenager, the Philadelphia Eagles would practice at Westchester University, and the players would fuck around at a bar called The Rat. So naturally, we wanted to go there. We arrive early enough, and it's still dead because all the college kids pregame until 11 p.m. before hitting the bars. Can attest.
Mm-hmm.
I am the most excited because they had free popcorn. I am drinking my Captain and Coke like the sophisticated adult that I am when my friend starts crying. He has had his head down at the bar, and the bartender says something to him about sitting up. He swats the bartender's hand away, and the bartender grabs my popcorn and says, "You're all tossed." Security comes to rough up my friend for physically assaulting the bartender with a swat of his hand. I chug my drink because the popcorn was the important thing to take away from me and get up. Being the tough guy that I am, I tell security that we're going, and if they touch me, we'll have problems. The 3 of us leave. My depressed friend is bloodied and sits in the front seat of the car. On the way home, he had his feet on the windshield and pushes into the glass, cracking it. Sadly, maybe that bar closed before I graduated from college.
Oh, man.
That's a roller coaster of a story, and I want more details.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So have you had someone lay their head down at the bar that you attended before?
Yes. For weddings, which is crazy because those are portable bars and you're standing the whole time.
Oh, they did it at the portable bar?
And then ran over my toe with the wheels. And those things are heavy. So that really didn't feel good. But I've also been that person.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the bar. So
have I. Many, many times.
Yeah, I've actually had to be the one to take you out of the bar at least twice.
Mm-hmm. I've had bartenders come up and wake me up. And half the time it is drunk, but there's just sometimes I'm just fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And just, you have like 3 or 4 drinks. Now you're just tired. Like you're not, like you might be a little drunk, but it's not like you're blackout drunk. I'm just tired drunk.
Right.
I'm just tired. And
Right.
there's this picture back in Cedar Rapids before you that it's somewhere on the internet where I'm passed out. And this girl that I know happened to be walking by, and my friend took a picture of her, and she's like, I'm passed out, head in my arm, and she's pointing and like sticking her tongue out, like licking at me like metal, like, and shit's so fucking hilarious. But yeah.
I am usually one to fall asleep in a booth in East Dubuque when I get dragged there.
Yeah.
So, and that's because of being tired.
I mean, that's not your fault. That's East Dubuque.
That's East Dubuque.
You're right. That is just the whole vibe of East Dubuque.
Right.
Yeah. So touching, you can tell this bartender is probably just annoyed because he has to deal with college kids like this all the time. And, obviously the guy, yes, he touched him. Did he really assault him?
I think that we're missing a lot of details.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
think that he was probably telling him to get up. He refused. Then he was like, Buddy, like trying to tap him. And then Buddy didn't want to get up because he didn't want to see anybody to see him crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iceman probably came to his friend's defense a little bit too aggressively, is going to be
Right.
my guess, because that's how young men are, or
Right.
men in general, but also college-age men.
Yeah. Well, and also,
Like, what the fuck, bro?
Right. And also, he knew that his friend had just gone through a breakup, so he was maybe a little more on the defensive on that
Right.
end as well.
I mean, but like, couldn't the guy or anybody in that situation have told the bartender, like, hey man, he's not sleeping, he's crying. Just give him a minute.
Right.
Bro,
Right.
like, dude just needs a minute and he needs a drink.
Right.
Maybe it just happened so often at this bar. Maybe we got in trouble
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason why the bartender did what he did, because this is not his first time.
Right.
But also, if this guy's having just a bad time, just go to the fucking bathroom, shut the
Yeah, cry in the stalls like everybody else.
right, like women, just go in there,
Yeah.
cry, and just have a moment.
Right. And
Go
Or
ahead.
cry in a dark corner with all of your friends surrounding you.
Right.
Or on the dance floor.
Or on the dance floor.
That's the classy way to do it. Honestly, this is going to be the wisest thing I'm about to say. It's probably not a good idea to go out when you're sad.
But that's what men do. Like take
That's
their friends.
what-
Take their friends out. Like, oh, you're sad. You just broke up. Let's go get you laid. Or let's go have.
Well, then, I mean, if that's the case, then his friends were doing a poor job of making it a better
Yeah.
day.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like Iceman is just more concentrated on popcorn. than
Yeah, I mean, to
anything.
be fair.
I don't blame him. Bar popcorn is good.
Right.
So,
So salty and
yes,
crunchy.
and
And
buttery.
there's when I told people at River Lounge, I'm open my water. Like, are you gonna have popcorn? I go, there is no fucking way I'm gonna want to clean a
Oh, no.
popcorn machine at the end of every shift. Get the fuck out of
But-
here.
But,
We can
You
maybe
could
there
have
is
a bar back that would do that.
right.
hello barback.
Listen, if I could have a popcorn machine, I would be that person to clean it up.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
you
Because all
can,
you gotta do is wipe it down. Like, you don't, it's like a cast iron skillet. You don't use soap, really.
yeah, but like
Well,
a machine though, like
It's also like the ice wall. You only burn it out once a week.
so that popcorn on Saturday night's really tasty because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
seasoned very
Seasoned,
well.
Yeah. I mean, hey, good chefs don't clean their flat top.
I mean, I I would run concession stands, and those never got cleaned.
Oh, no. Never.
Never. Like, you just wipe them down with hot water.
And you know when the
On a
inspector's
rag.
coming.
Well, there is that popcorn place by the bookstore,
Yeah.
Freddy's.
Freddy's.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work out a deal with them and like, hey, look, man, we're gonna buy this much popcorn from you.
No, it's got to be fresh
It's-
popped
yeah, it's gotta be
in-house,
hot.
warm. You got to smell it popping.
Yes.
Because I feel like that could be in a high-end establishment also.
Oh,
like, it wouldn't
absolutely.
have to be a dive bar.
Right. We've
No.
had there's this place in Minneapolis called Parlor.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Nick, told us to go there, and we went there, and they have like
Gourmet popcorn.
gourmet popcorn because they use different seasonings like saffron and something.
Yeah.
There's usually like 3 ingredients and just lightly toss it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's to die for.
Like the last time was lemon and dill.
Yum.
Yeah.
It was great. So, damn it, now you ladies have talked me into possibly having popcorn.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah.
I would go in and clean that every
Yeah.
day. Like, to have, because I love freshly popped popcorn with the right, like, cheap ass ingredients. Still delicious.
Honestly, I also love the idea of a high-end place kind of cosplaying as a dive bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
Right.
Yeah. Taking dive bar food
Yeah.
and make it high end
Right.
ish. Because there was also a place we went to in Dallas. It was a brewery, and their appetizer was pickled vegetables. They just brought you a mason jar. It
Yep.
was filled with different vegetables, and I thought
And they
that,
were house pickled too. So
Hell
it was
yeah,
like,
it was great.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, I think there was only one thing in there I didn't like, but that was just a personal, like cauliflower or something. I don't
yeah,
remember.
the cauliflower.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, like, also those are things that don't require
Kitchens.
kitchens. You can
Yeah.
just make it there.
I mean, if you have a kettle
Mm-hmm.
and vinegar, all you have to do is boil the kettle and
Yeah.
pour in the vinegar and the sugar and the salt.
The
There
right
you go.
seasonings. Yeah.
And whatever seasons, you
Yeah.
know. So,
There you go.
all right,
We're gonna do that.
we made an executive decision, I guess, on this fucking podcast
Pickles and popcorn.
We need one more.
thing.
Yeah, one more.
One more P.
That's what I was thinking. One more thing that starts with a P.
Pickled popcorn.
It's gotta be something sweet. Pop-Tarts.
Pastries.
Well, you need
Pastries, you have to have a kitchen, though.
right, unless we have someone
Unless we order them in.
order them in.
Yeah.
But there's not a. Is there a lot of good pastry places here in town? That, like,
There can be. I mean, like, anyway.
Anyway.
We've
Well,
gone so
so
far
far.
off the rails.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but yeah. So this story, I mean,
So who's the asshole in this story?
it doesn't really
I
seem
don't,
like
I don't
there's
really
an asshole.
think there's an asshole.
I don't think there's not an asshole.
You think everyone's
I
an
think
asshole?
everybody was being a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Because, like, somebody got beat up. And then
That
the
is
friend
true.
kicked the windshield out the car. Or
That is
cracked the
true.
windshield.
Did I miss that part?
I
Yes.
forgot about that part.
Like everybody was
Oh,
being
there
a
we
little
go,
bit of an
yeah.
asshole. To have the bouncer beat you up.
They're from Philly, though. Maybe that's just
So it's
Philly.
automatic asshole points.
Yeah.
But it's not, yeah. It's like that in Boston. You just automatically
Yeah.
get 2 points for being an asshole
Masshole.
just because
Yeah.
you live there.
Yeah.
So,
I think that just maybe they were all on their man period,
Yep.
and
Everybody was having a bad day.
Yeah. So
And for them, but for security though, to rough up this guy,
Yeah,
there's
they
got to
didn't
be
need to
other
do
things.
that.
There's other things involved that
Right.
that
Like,
were
we're
said.
we're
Right.
missing a lot of details
Yeah.
to go from dude crying at a bar to bartender fucking him up. Or bouncer fucking him up.
Bouncer.
Iceman, I would be curious to know what led to the
Yeah, like
The
what
roughing
happened
up.
in between.
why was he bloodied?
He'll reply to this or
Oh, yeah,
on Instagram.
absolutely.
He's really good at it. So
Yes.
story wise, what do we want to rate this? 1 through 5. 1 being we hear about this shit all the time, or 5 again being like I've never heard anything like this before.
I'm gonna say, because we don't know all the details,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Because, I mean, people get kicked out all the time.
Yep.
People get in fights in the bar all the time. People are crying at the bar all the time.
Yep.
It's just kind of the entirety of the situation that might be a little bit more rare.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 2.8. And the 0.8, the extra almost point, comes from the fact that I have never had somebody kick out my windshield or crack my windshield when I was driving them home.
Yes. Yep. You know what?
So
I'm with you there.
I don't think it's 3 worthy,
Right.
but I do think it deserves to get close to it because that's Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
How is that even possible? You have to be really tall or really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's cold outside and you hit a bump and it's like,
Well,
I don't know. But it takes a lot to crack a windshield. So
Yeah.
was he wearing steel-toed boots?
I don't know. What kind of car was it?
Right.
But like he was 21, and I think Iceman's my age.
Right.
So 20 something years ago, 25 years ago. So that would put it around anywhere between 98 to 03, depending
okay.
exactly how old he is.
I would be interested to know if this was pre or post 9/11, just for my own,
Probably
Edification.
pre. Probably pre.
in order to visualize it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
That's my guess. So I will give this story a 2.7 because I agree. Like it is definitely unique because again we're missing details,
Right.
on it. But I'm glad he puts the popcorn thing in there.
Man,
Yeah.
heard.
Right.
like if
Heard.
the popcorn was
that.
left out of the story,
If I see
Would-
popcorn in a bar, I'm like, is it
Oh,
free?
immediately.
is it
I don't
free?
care if it's free, but is it free?
Yeah.
I didn't realize we could do point
Oh
No.
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
So
We can do
I'm-
hundredth if you want to.
Just to be
Ooh,
different.
I'm gonna give it a 2.75. That's my edit.
That's my
'Kay.
edit. So, all right. So again, if you have a story to share, again, leave it on our subreddit. Do you want to start a tab? We would love to hear about it, read it, and discuss it. Then, if you are not a person of words and you like to speak, well, written words per se, and like to speak, we do have a phone number. It is 563-277-0072. You can leave up to a 3-minute voicemail. And we're still waiting for that first person to leave us live commentary at the bar when they're there. Oh my God, there's someone that just
Running
got
commentary.
shit. We're waiting for that. Also, while you're on your podcast platform, Apple is our #1 listened to or listened on device or platform. Then Spotify, leave us a rating. We have quite a few ratings, which we really appreciate. That more the merrier. It helps us out, grow, gets in front of more eyes.
Maggie, when you listen to our podcast, does him stumbling over the words that he's saying sound as glaring as it does in person?
I wouldn't say it sounds glaring. However, I do notice it, but it makes me giggle.
Is it part of the charm?
Yeah. It makes me giggle.
Because when I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, let's go.
I have to be careful if I'm listening to it in public or at work because I'll just bust out laughing and look kind of crazy. So
What speed do you listen to your podcast on?
this one time.
One time.
But any other podcast, 1.2. Always.
1.2 is my
Yeah.
setting for everything.
Yep.
All right, cool. Good story, bro.
Cool
I just
story,
had to
bro.
know.
No, I was telling Iceman a good story, bro.
Oh, yes.
I'm just glaring at you. Okay. All right, Maggie. Maggie is our first guest that written out her story. So
Yes, she came
And it is long.
prepared.
prepared.
It is
unlike
3
some of us.
paragraphs.
There we go.
Love it.
So this is my story, and I'll just start with the headline here. I formed it in an Am I the Asshole
Okay.
way.
Perfect.
Am I the asshole for letting the bride learn how I almost had to kick out one of her guests? I, 25 female, work at a large hotel wedding venue and often spend my holidays bartending. This New Year's Eve, I bartended for a beautiful wedding. I generally enjoy my job and don't mind bartending on those big holidays, but this event was different. Cocktail hour was normal with the exception of a couple guests insisting on being served even though the bar was closed so that everyone could get seated for dinner. There are very little exceptions for this as it is per the contract rules. It's very strict. This one guest in particular kept begging for just one more beer and insisted, what the fuck am I supposed to drink with dinner? I don't know, maybe the water that they give you? My response, as well as my coworkers and boss, was always, we'll be open in 30. You'll just have to drink water. I proceed with transferring the kegs, liquor, and glassware from the cocktail hour bar to the ballroom bar, and this guest continues to stop me, asking for just one more beer. I had an odd feeling about his table, so I chose to take off the tap handle as I walked away to grab something. I heard whispers amongst him and his buddies, and they said, "Go, she's not paying attention." I was about 20 feet away at this point, so I booked it back to the bar, ripped the glass out of his hand just as he started to pour beer into it. I am pretty easy to anger, I will admit, but because of my workplace, I'm usually able to keep a cool head and not swear in front of guests. This time, I was seeing red as I said, "What the fuck do you think you were doing behind my bar? Go back to your seat right now, or I will have to get my manager to walk you out." He sheepishly walked away, and when my coworkers came back, I went to the cooler to cool off. I literally went into the beer cooler. When I told my manager, she said that the same guest had done the same thing at the cocktail hour bar just 5 minutes prior. At no point did I want any of this information to get back to the newlyweds and risk ruining their day. The night goes on. I see very little of this guy until one point when he decides to apologize to me. I respond with, "I appreciate your apology, just don't let that happen again. Otherwise, what are they paying me to be here for?" Everything was fine until the next time he came up with the mother of the bride. Wait, I got a little ahead of myself here. Yes, he came up with the mother of the bride. I teased him a bit with, here to cause more trouble. And the mother of the bride asked me what he had done. I explained to her, not knowing who she was at that point.
Yes.
Later on in the night, I found out that the mother of the bride had told the bride, who then came up to my coworker and profusely apologized for the guy's misbehavior. I felt horrible for her finding out. Am I the asshole for that?
Absolutely not.
Thank God.
No, not at all. You stood your ground. You do what you're supposed to do. He's completely the asshole for not listening. And this is the second time he's done it in the same night.
Well, it's not even not listening. It's going behind the bar.
Right.
And as we have discussed previously, you do not go behind the bar. I don't care if you're friends with the bartender.
Hell no.
Unless you are given explicit permission to walk behind that bar, you do not go behind the bar.
Yeah.
You do not do that, especially if it's a premeditated crime at this point because she's not paying attention. Go. She's not paying attention. Fuck you.
You guys
I'd have kicked him out.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
You guys might have said it to him, but I just there's a bar downstairs. You can go grab a beer from down there, pay for it, and come bring the thing back up.
That's what we kept telling him.
You know, he just wanted free beer.
Yep.
This is probably the guy that the couple was like, "Fuck, we got to invite Steve.
He's gonna cause trouble though. But he's been my best friend since college.
Right. I love him, but he gets a little out of control."
Do you know what's fucking crazy? The guy's name was Steve.
That's awesome.
Why is it always Steve?
Yeah.
Fuck
It's
you,
always
Steve.
Steve.
Even the bartender. Fuck you, Mr. the bartender.
No.
No, just kidding.
He's
But
the nicest guy.
yeah. So in case people went more depth into it, it's the same hotel I worked at, and contracts usually run that there's 6 hours of bar service. And so they need to divide that bar service up throughout the night. And usually there's a tear down between cocktail hour and dinner of 30 to 45 minutes, depending.
And not
then-
only go ahead. Not only is this the break because of contract hours, but it also gives the bartenders time to make sure that their bar is stocked for the rest of the reception. So it's an important time for them to not be serving people.
Right. And so then usually wedding receptions last 7.5 hours. And so then they also stop 30 to 45 minutes prior to the end of the night. Basically, last call, have people finish up their drinks so they get the fuck out. So I've always had to tell people this, and they get all mad. I'm like, look, it's in the contract that the couple signed. You know, like there was one wedding, I don't know if you worked it, where it was an hour and a half break.
Oh, I did.
Did you work that one?
And I took a nap.
Yeah. But we were like, even the wedding coordinator was like, to the couple, I remember she telling me, that's a long time to have people not drink, you know, and stuff like that. But that's what the couple wanted. And at the end of the day, we do what they want because they're the ones paying the service. So yeah, it's crazy what guests do at a wedding. They just think it's open arms for them to do whatever the fuck they want. Not all guests, obviously, but.
And not to rag on Wisconsin again, but I'm going to. The family was from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So they were especially like, oh, you guys just don't drink like we do.
Yeah.
You just don't drink like we do. You just don't get it.
That's
being
fine.
Proud of having like the 10 drunkest fucking counties. Yeah. Like they're so proud of being the 10 drunkest counties. It's like, and you probably have the most fucking kids being born out of like, you know, like.
I mean, but like, I don't care how much you drink. You got to also know how to follow the rules.
And behave. And also, you're drinking muddled fruit and blackberry brandy. How drunk really are you?
Right. If you're that drunk, you have diabetes.
Yeah, man. I wonder what the statistics are. If in those 10 drunkest counties, do they have the highest rates of diabetes?
God, it's got to be
Probably.
up
I want to know though.
there. All right, we're gonna find that out, and within 10 podcasts, we'll let you know.
If I remember tomorrow to look it up.
All right. Rating this story, I mean, that's good for you for standing up because a lot of
Yeah.
bartenders will just like, blah, 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 you know. But like,
I love
if you
and Maggie's so small. Like you're so small, so you got Chihuahua energy for
100%.
sure. And you probably scared the shit out of him, and I love
I
that
know I
for
did.
you.
I know I did. My thing is, I do not care. I care about professionalism. But if somebody's going to do something inappropriate or say something that is inappropriate, I'm not going to fuck around and give them the nice retail
you can't.
hospitality thing. I'm going to be like, I'm going to say what I feel and what I think. And it's never gotten me in trouble. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I mean, it was the time there was a holiday party in the River Room, and they came over, and this woman was yelling at me and tugging at my shirt, and I stopped and said, "You fuck!" I mean, it was a lot more than what I'm about to say, but I basically told her, "You do not fucking touch me, and you do not yell at me. You wait your turn like everyone else."
That's
and she just
crazy.
felt entitled because they spent a bunch of money. I'm like, no, you spend a bunch of money next door. I am a different business. I'm a different human being, and plus, just treating people like with respect.
Right.
Right.
Like I am one person and I now have 80 people at my bar. That did not expect to happen.
Right.
So, but
And don't go behind the bar.
yeah, don't go behind
Never
the bar.
go behind
Right.
the bar.
This is like the 4th episode where we have to reiterate that to
And
people.
it's wild that we have to. Like, there are social contracts when you enter an establishment. You follow their rules, and in all bars, guests do not go behind the bar.
That's just crazy.
Absolutely. So if we just look at this story and in general, like take out the wedding side, just take it at a customer at the bar, guys or people, guests trying to like persuade us to do things that we're not supposed to do happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Pour me stronger, I'll tip you more. Do this, I'll do that. Or just come on, I just want one more. You said last call, but I missed it. I was in the bathroom. You know, like shit like that happens
Last call
all the time.
last 15 minutes. Don't start with me.
Tough
You weren't in the bathroom for
titties.
15
Right.
minutes.
Right. Especially at the hotel. We're all done by midnight. There's plenty of bars within 2-block radius that you can go get drinks at. not as good, but you know,
No,
you can
right.
go, you know, but
Well, it's those people that are also ordering rum and diets.
Or Bud Lights.
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. They think because they're ordering a Bud Light, all you got to do is pour it out of a tap or just take the top off. Like that's not the point. The point it's the principle. It's we're not supposed to, and I'm not losing my job because you want something else.
Right.
You know, like look, if the bride came up and said, can we just have one real quick? Because that's usually what we would do. Like if it was like the bride or the groom or like the parents that we knew who paid the bill. I'm like, hey, can I just get 2 real quick beers? Certainly, sir. You just paid us fucking $15,000, so
Right.
here's 2 more beers.
Right.
But Joe Schmo in the back, who's stuck behind the fucking pillar, seated in the way back, he's back there for a reason.
Right.
Right.
I will say, though, there are some father of the brides who are extremely entitled.
Oh, yes.
Oh
and
yes.
they are demanding, like, oh, I spent $50,000. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
If you're cool about it, like, hey, you know, like, look, I know you guys are closed, but can you just grab me 2 quick beers?
Right.
Sure, I don't fucking care. But you come up already with the entitlement of attitude, like you already are trying to not prove yourself, but
Assert yourself.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like
Also, I don't know who you are, and I don't care who you are, and I don't care that you spent that much money.
Right.
Right.
If I'm being 100%
Right.
honest. Because
If you paid that much money, you had to have read the contract that you signed
right?
that says what I will and won't do.
Right.
So you should be beholden to those rules more than anybody else. You
Absolutely.
should understand and accept those rules more than anybody else because you did sign said contract.
yeah.
Yep. And if you didn't read it, that's your own fucking fault.
Right. Right.
So what do you want to rate this, Riley?
I think that, I mean, a bar guest or a wedding guest wanting a beer between cocktail hour and the reception gets like a -2 because like happens. It's a
Right.
given.
Right.
Right.
100%.
But the fact that he plotted and planned with the rest of the people at his table, and you heard him, and then he got what he deserved. Well, he got half of what he deserved. He should have been kicked out, in my opinion. But you know, professionalism and whatnot. I'm gonna say 1.8.
That is exactly what I was going to give it to. Basically because, you know, the plotting, you hearing, you sticking up for yourself and your job and talking to him. But then also he did come and apologize,
Right.
which
Yes.
is nice.
Wait.
of him.
He apologized. So
He did.
2.5.
cool.
And then
An apology is worth so much.
right. But then you explain it to the mother-in-law, which you didn't even know. And so like
Yeah.
it just snowballed into something
Yeah.
more. Not really more because it was already something big, but just
Right.
it went sideways even a little more. But
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I think it deserves a 2.5 because an apology goes a long way.
yeah.
And it was obviously a genuine one.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
So I'm gonna go 2.5.
Okay. What do you rate your own story?
I would probably say about the same because I know that it's not so crazy
Mm-hmm.
that he would do something like that or that anybody as a guest of a wedding would do something like that.
Right.
But for sure, the apology. And
Yes.
I really did not want it to get back to the bride. I
Yeah,
really did not.
I get that.
Yeah. But I
But-
mean,
You know, I mean,
it is what like
They
somebody
already-
would have told her.
Eventually would have.
they
Yeah.
already know. They
Yeah.
already know this is the guy that's going to be the fucking
That is
problem.
true.
They
That is
already
true.
know.
Yeah.
That's why she
Oh,
came
Uncle
up.
Steve.
You're right. You know, exactly. It's
Yeah.
always the fucking uncle, Uncle Joe or whatever.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
always the
Oh,
uncle.
Uncle
Yeah,
Carl.
For sure. Yep.
Don't invite me to your wedding. I don't care who you are. Sorry, Sean. Yeah.
So you're sticking at a 1.8
Yeah.
and we're both at 2.5s?
Yeah, I'd say
This
so.
would have been a 1 for me.
And this would have been, yeah, like I said, this would have been a -2
Yeah.
without the apology.
I bartended so many events.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Right.
that was my job for 3 years was bartending. And what's crazy is I think these people they have this mentality of they're just an event bartender. So why the fuck do they care? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
like they might not think that they're less than a normal bartender, but they're just there opening drinks. Who gives a
Right.
fuck, right?
Right.
And so like why don't you just do this for me? Like who cares? You know, it's like
Because then I have to do it for everybody.
yeah, that's
Right.
the thing. If someone else sees me do it for you,
Yep.
guess what? 400 more fucking people are going to come up and expect the same fucking thing.
Right.
I just have never been so angry
Hmm.
while bartending that, I was enraged.
I mean, I can see that. I can think of a million other reasons that you would have been more angry, but like I can definitely understand the rage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have seen red, and I would have,
Sure did.
yeah.
I mean, you had to go to the beer cooler, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's all I can else say is don't be a dick, tip your bartenders, and drink responsibly.